Richie, let's talk about this. Certainly frustrates people because they've asked for it for so long. And I have my opinions, and I will certainly own this because we'll get in the comments. I was of the opinion that going to Brock didn't matter, which I'll completely own and wear. I have no problem doing that. And I'll talk about that in a minute. But that considered, why did it take this staff so long to go to Brock? Like, why would you? That I think that is maybe we mentioned all the things that were frustrating in this game. Um, that might frustrate me more than any other singular thing that happened in the Clemson game is how long it took to go to Brock. And I wasn't necessarily like I certainly wasn't cheering for Brock to do poorly so that we could say like, oh, Mike Norvell, see, Mike was right. I was right. But I did think that that was what was going to happen. I thought Brock was going to play really, really poorly. And it would be like, oh, okay, all right, Mike, you were right about this. It makes me more frustrated that Mike was so stubborn, loyal, whatever, manipulated. I don't know what the word is, but it makes me almost more frustrated at how well Brock played that we didn't go to him earlier. So what are your thoughts on that?
So a lot of thoughts. And we're going to talk about, Trey's rant here coming up shortly, and the investment that a lot of Florida State fans have made to this program. And I do wonder if whatever DJ's getting paid, and college players should absolutely get paid. They deserve it. But is that salary, quote unquote, is that the reason we didn't go to Brock sooner? Because I've been on this show, people that have been with us all season or the past 4 years that we've been doing this show. I've been saying it's time to move on from DJ. It's time for Brock Glenn or Luke Krummenhoek. And seeing what Brock did yesterday, I'm not going to sit here and say it was amazing. He did everything. He was Charlie Ward 2.0. No, but he clearly has a better command of this offense. And to quote the announcer from the game yesterday, he's got that moxie. Like he really does. He goes out there and he's a guy that looks like he wants to play football. DJ, I don't know if his heart is in it, and I'm not going to say it's not. Like I'm not here to be that guy, but man, Brock Glenn plays with a passion, and we saw it last year against Louisville. Not so much against Georgia, but that was a completely different circumstance, and I think we all understand that. But yesterday, that was a quarterback that had command of this team, had command of the offense, and if the guys around him were doing their job, we might be talking about, oh my goodness, what did we just see from Brock Glenn last night? We're not talking about that right now, and that's understandable. But yeah, I don't know why it took so long. I don't know if it's the NIL situation or whatever it may be. Maybe he's just not that good in practice. That could be a very real issue. But man, he looked better than any Florida State quarterback I've seen since Jordan Travis against Florida on Black Friday.
All right, I will get right back to chatting with Richie, but first I do want to give a little bit of love to Lucy. We've talked about them on a couple of shows now. We've certainly given them some love. I was up in Tallahassee this weekend at the tailgate. I gave Harlan some of the Lucy product, and the pouches are really some of the best pouches that I've ever tried. The flavor is really good. It's what I'd say is more mild. It doesn't just absolutely light you on fire, and the effects you feel are pretty strong too. And I've enjoyed the product. If you are somebody who, like me, maybe has done chewing tobacco or dipped in the past, these are a great alternative, a tobacco-free that is not owned by the tobacco industry or owned by Big Tobacco. I really like the mint flavor. If you want to check it out, go to lucy.co/DFNS. You get a 20% off of your first order. Use that. Go check it out. Lucy offers free shipping. They have a 30-day refund policy. Again, lucy.co. DFNS is the code for 20% off. We appreciate them for their support. And here comes the fine print. Lucy products are only for adults of legal age, and every order is age verified. Warning, this product does contain nicotine, and nicotine is an addictive chemical. But if you are in the market or you're looking for something a little bit different, go check out lucy.co/DFNS for 20% off. Yeah, it really does make you question it. And I've seen people speculate about the NIL stuff, and I've literally seen Ingram respond to it and say that like none of that is true. How like I've seen people speculate that oh, he had to play this number of games because of the contract, and I've seen Ingram respond to that and say like no, that's not true. So I'll say that like I do trust Ingram on that. Like I don't think he would lie about that, especially when it's pretty verifiable. Like people do get their hands on those contracts at times, and like him being, like if that was to ever really get out that it was, I'm not even like, I do think that Ingram is like a good person and wouldn't just lie about it anyway. I just think he'd probably not respond if that was the case. But I also think that he's not dumb and knows that like if that contract, like a Pete Nakos or whatever at On Three, like got a hold of that contract and it was the case, like that would look really bad for the CEO of the collective to have lied about it in a public forum. So I really don't, but it does make you question it. It makes you question, maybe it wasn't in the contract, but maybe Norvell told him like, yeah, there is no, maybe the coaches told him when he came in, like, yeah, there's no battle. You'll start every game. You're our guy no matter what, kind of thing. Which if that's the case, that's not a good thing. Like that's bad.
No.
That's really bad. Okay, so here's my take, and I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. And I tweeted this last night, so if you guys follow me on Twitter, I'm just repeating what I've already tested on the open market, but it was after midnight. So I think it's just loyalty. I think it's just blind loyalty. I think it's the same reason Randy Shannon still has a job here. I think it's the same reason that other coaches that we don't think are doing a great job still have a job here. I don't think Mike has that killer, that dog mentality where he's going to make the tough decisions. I think it's the reason we were told about certain guys that would transfer, and they went into Mike's office at the end of the year and they basically begged to stay, and Mike let them stay. And we didn't upgrade certain parts on the roster. I think it's the same thing. To me, that's what makes the most sense. I can't buy the NIL side. I can't buy this. I just think that Mike, in his heart of hearts, knew that when he benched DJ, that was the end of the kid's college career. Not kid, right, with how old he is, but, much younger than Mike. I think he knew that when he benched him, that was the end of his career. And I didn't think he thought the difference was too much between him and Brock to where it gave you a much better chance. So, hey, let's go ahead and leave DJ in there. I'd feel bad for him if I get to the end of the year. And so I'm just going to be loyal. Just like he's too loyal to some of the coaches that are on this staff, just like he's loyal to some of the people that work behind the scenes. Like, I think Mike is loyal to a fault. And that is not just a Mike thing. Like, Jimbo was a little bit too loyal with certain coaches. Dan Mullen was really, really loyal with some coaches, and it probably cost him. Billy Napier's been really loyal with some coaches, and it's cost him for sure. And so that's not just a Mike thing. But to me, that's what it comes down to. I think Mike is just way too loyal. Hey, I brought this guy in as my starter. I promised him he'd be the starter. I'm going to honor that. I mean, but that is very damning. Like that, to the detriment of your own team. Like, and Mike hasn't told me that. Maybe that's not the case. Maybe Brock told him he didn't want to start. I don't know. Maybe there's something crazy. Probably not. But no. That's to me, that's almost what makes the most sense. And it might be a combination of things. Maybe it's the loyalty. Maybe it's promises, promises that Mike made in the offseason. Hey, this isn't a battle. This is going to be your job, blah, 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 blah. But it feels to me a little bit like that's probably an aspect of it, that he knew once DJ is benched, he will never play college football again. And so like, let's let him work it out. Let's let him get a little further. Let's let him go a little further. But watching Brock play last night was as exciting as it was infuriating, because you sit there and think about like, dude, we should be 3-2 right now. Or I guess 3-3, because I still think, obviously we lost last night, but you think like we should be 3-3 right now, and probably thinking like, oh yeah, we could make a bowl. Like we'll beat one of the North Carolina teams, we'll beat Charleston Southern, and we'll beat Miami or whatever, right? Or Florida, not Miami. But yeah, that's, we should have 2 more wins on the schedule at least, right? And so I don't get it. I don't understand it. But again, I think that Mike is loyal to a fault at times, and hopefully he'll start to break some of that. It took a broken hand for him to go to a different quarterback. Because I'll tell you this, DJ was going to start last night, if not for breaking his hand. Like, I'm just telling you, he was. I don't care what anybody says or what Mike obviously wasn't going to say that one way or the other, but DJ was going to start. And so that was infuriating. The fact that we didn't go to him sooner, the fact that in your heart of hearts that DJ was going to start last night and we were probably going to lose by 40. I was excited about the way Brock was playing. I was also pissed the whole time, right? So that's the glass half empty, glass half full thought.
Yeah, no, it definitely was frustrating, because you look at Brock and he plays with a passion that you never saw from DJ the first 4 games of the season. Like you just didn't see it, and that's what's frustrating. Like in DJ, I think he's a good person, comes from a good family. And I think, he didn't come to Florida State to think, oh, I'm just going to, go through the motions and see what happens. No. But Brock Glenn, man, this guy, there's a reason Ohio State wanted him. There's a reason he was committed to Ohio State, and Mike went and stole him. And I think that's a big deal. And I think he has a very, very bright future at Florida State. It just sucks for him that this was what he was thrust into, right? His first start of this season was against Clemson, against the best defense you're going to see all season. But man, I think Brock Glenn is, I do think he is the quarterback of the future. I hope he does not hit the portal. I don't think he will. I think he trusts Mike Norvell and is all in on the system and what we're doing here. But man, yeah, it was infuriating. Like, why did we not see him sooner? Like, what are we doing? Like, we knew after the second game of the season that DJ was not going to be the answer. You're 0-2 at that point. What are we doing here?
Yeah,
Why
you're
are we?
only in the conference. Like you after the BC game, you knew it was over. Like
Yeah,
what were we saying after? Remember what we were saying after the BC game? Well, maybe we can make a bowl. Maybe we can
yeah.
get to
Bowl
a
game's
bowl.
off the table at this point.
Yeah, like come on, like well, that's what we were fighting for back then. Oh, maybe we want to start DJ, and I was saying it. I was absolutely saying it because what we were being told. But like to never. Okay, so here's the frustrating thing. I do believe that DJ was practicing better than like I've talked
Yeah,
to people
no, I
not
agree.
on the staff.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
the staff can't read, excuse the language, but the staff can't tell their ass from a hole in the ground. So I don't really trust what they have to say about quarterbacks. But I trust enough people that aren't on staff that go to practice that were telling me that DJ was practicing better. So that is a verifiable fact. Like DJ was practicing better. But like at 1-4, like to never even try Brock in a game again until DJ got injured. And I like Mike a lot, but I think he's full of crap when he says, "Oh, I was taking DJ out anyway." I doubt that. I doubt that
no,
that's what you were
no,
doing.
hell no.
Let's just call a spade, bro. Come on. To never even try Brock. You're losing by like 30 to Boston College. You're getting blown out by SMU. You're struggling to score ever. I'm not saying you should have played him against Georgia Tech. Like I get it. Like then you probably wouldn't have known. But yeah, that is frustrating to never even try. Like to never say like, "Hey man, not your night. We're gonna go with Brock for a couple of drives. See what he's got. You're starting the next game, right? Like, hey, you're struggling against Memphis. We're gonna take you out, but Brock's gonna finish. You'll start against Cal. Like you're not benched for the rest of the year. I don't know. Stubbornness. Coaches are obviously very very stubborn, and so it's frustrating. But it was infuriating. But you're right. I feel good about Brock going forward. I feel good. I mean, you got him 2 weeks to get ready for Duke. Dude, I don't know.
Get ready for Duke. Oh my goodness, is this where we're at, TJ?
I might have a whole bunch of hopium, and I might even pick us to beat Duke because I'll be on Brocktoberfest still. But yeah, frustrating for sure.